tell us, like ballpark, like what are the best components of a great story? What are the components they need to have in their story for it to be great, for it to sing?
Okay. All right. First of all, when I'm looking for, we're speaking really now about this signature story, what Bo calls your signature story. I'm always looking for three main components when I'm trying to identify what it is. One of them is, the first one is vulnerability. Something that makes you feel vulnerable. That's the number one component that has to be there. The thing that you really don't want to tell people. I will never feel comfortable talking about my story on stage, ever. I just won't.
Wait, stop right there. That's really, listen to what she just said. Say that again, Mary.
I will never feel comfortable telling my story on stage, ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, comfort is a booby prize. Do you know how you go? Remember you used to go to the fair, guys, with your gal? You went to the fair, carnival, and the guy was setting up those milk bottles, and you were going to throw the baseball, knock him down. You're going to win a big-ass stuffed animal, big old teddy bear for your gal. And if you can't hit those bottles, what do they give you? A booby prize. And it's a teddy bear this big that you now got to hand to your girl. That's a booby prize for you being a loser. Okay? Comfort is for losers. There is no such thing whatsoever in the world of being the best that has comfort anywhere in it. In fact, you know how Malcolm Gladwell always talks about these 10,000 hours, right? He got that from a guy named Anders Ericsson, who wrote a book called Peak, who is the foremost authority on what it takes to be an expert, what it takes to be the best in the world, world class at a thing, whether that's chess or baseball or quarterbacking or ballet. And Malcolm Gladwell says it's 10,000 hours, that's what it takes. And in reality, it's about 20,000. But those 10,000 and 20,000 hours you are to put in, if there is comfort involved in those 10,000 or 20,000 hours, they don't count. Sorry, Mac.
Okay. So number one, vulnerability. Number two, I'm going to call it drama. Bo calls it conflict. He talks about the enemy. There's got to be two opposing forces. Drama is two opposing forces. It's tension and release. And you need that in a story. One of the best exercises that I could give you to do this, I do this all the time if I'm watching a good television show. Pay attention in every scene. There will be two opposing forces. There will be drama in every scene. Sometimes it's really subtle. You know, a guy walks in and he's like, oh, nice shirt, right? But there's always some way in every scene that they build in some kind of tension or conflict. And just start paying attention to that, because that is what makes story, is those two opposing forces. And then the third thing is transformation. This story that you're telling, you're the character. You start off in one place and you have some kind of goal, something that you're after, and at the end of the story, you either get it or you don't get it. Doesn't really matter if you get it or you don't get it, quite frankly. But you will have changed because of the journey to get to that place. And we have to see how you changed. We don't want you to explain to us how you changed. This is maybe one of the other biggest mistakes, is I find that speakers want to explain to the audience what the stories mean, because they took meaning out of it. They have figured out their life because of this story, and now they want to impose on you the meaning of that story for your life. No. You let the audience listen to the story. You don't tell them what it means. You don't tell them what the big takeaway is that they're supposed to take from it. You don't tell them, how they should change their life because of your story. You just share it with them and then let them take meaning from it. Where does it fit for their life? Because guess what? The meaning you want them to take from it may not be what they're ready to hear. But just telling the story and sharing it with them, they may get exactly what they need to take the next step in their own life. So like right now, I was thinking about this earlier. You guys came to this event, and we hear about the hero's journey. Has everybody heard of the hero's journey? It's basically like basic storytelling. It's the same story is repeated over and over in multiple genres, right? And it's the hero's journey. They start off, they enter a new world, they face all these challenges, they come to a turning point, they come back, and they either have slayed the dragon or they haven't slayed the dragon. We've seen this story play itself out over and over and over and over again. So for everybody in the room today, you're all on your own hero's journey. And for some of you, this is a call to adventure. For some of you, you're meeting a mentor. For some of you, you've been maybe speaking for a while, and it hasn't been going as good as you wanted it to go, and now you're going to cross that dividing line where you either commit to it for real or you back off. But everybody's at a different place. And what I find is that the more you understand story, the more you're able to navigate your life. And this doesn't just apply to you as an individual, it also applies to your businesses. Your businesses have a hero's journey cycle. I just did work for an industry has a hero's journey cycle. So it plays itself out over and over and over again. And it starts with you and your personal story. That's where you begin.